Welcome back to Dante and Josh's podcast here on the Swoop Radio Edition. It's nice to be back
Yes, it is. It's nice to be back.
after a long month.
Whole month off. Hopefully everyone had a good break. But now it's time for Swoop Radio to come back into action.
Now it's time for us to get back on our job. We have a couple topics today for today's podcast. First, I want to start off with Westbrook getting snubbed off the All-Starter. Becoming a starter.
Breaking news. This just in on ESPN as me and Dante are walking to our production studio. I check in on ESPN, and I noticed that Russell Westbrook, the guy that's averaging a triple-double, is snubbed from the All-Star game. The starters on the West are Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, and Anthony Davis. And on the East, yes, Joel Embiid is not a starter, in which, in my opinion, I think it's kind of messed up. But because there's no size on the East, I don't know why. But Kyrie Irving, the point guard.
Well, if we're going to talk about Joel Embiid getting snubbed, I think DeMarcus Cousins got snubbed off the starter.
Yeah, a lot of people got snubbed.
I think DeMarcus Cousins should be starting over
Anthony
Davis.
Well, Anthony Davis is hurt, so Cousins probably will move in the starter. He probably will. Because Anthony Davis, I think he just hurt his back or something like that recently.
Anthony Davis always getting hurt.
I know. What's new?
Nothing.
And then also Chris Paul's out, so Chris Paul won't be in the All-Star game. Blake Griffin, he won't be in the All-Star game. So we're probably going to see some new faces in the reserves. But, yeah, the East, let me continue. Kyrie, LeBron, you already knew that was going to happen. The Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. DeMar DeRozan, and Jimmy Butler. Absolutely no size on the Eastern. What is it going to be? Butler going to be the small forward? LeBron going to play center?
Is DeMar DeRozan bringing the? I think DeMar DeRozan going to play the three.
I mean, the Sixers, man, we just bodied him last night. It took him 3.5 quarters to do something. Oh well. But yeah, man, Russell Westbrook, he's averaging a triple-double, like over 30 points a game, almost 11 rebounds and 11 assists, and
he's not a starter.
He's not even a starter. Like what's the problem here? I mean, thank God. Let me just say this. Thank God Zaza Pachulia is not a freaking starter. I was about to say.
I think people did that one for a joke.
I know.
They had that one for a joke.
Well, it was his home country. I think he's the only player in his home country, so they all voted for him. Just like how Jeremy Lin, he's top 10 in the vote every year, but he doesn't deserve it. He's a bench player. Like
he's hurt right now. He's not even.
I know,
playing. He's hurt for the Nets.
Like I went to the Nets game. There was all these Asians at the stadium, and me and my friend were trying to think like, yo, why are all these Asians here? And I'm like, oh yeah, Jeremy Lin's on the Nets. That's why. So they get a lot of votes. They represent their home country, just like DeRozan. That's probably why DeRozan got it, because they're the only team in Canada. So like you got the whole nation behind your back.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know. I think Westbrook got snubbed. Cousins did get snubbed because he's in Sacramento. He's never on prime time, so no one really sees him. But Anthony Davis is not even 100%. So
but the numbers don't lie, though.
I know.
I mean, I don't know why.
Almost 26 points a game, like about 12, 13 rebounds. Shoots threes.
How does he get snubbed after that?
I don't know. I mean,
it just doesn't add up to me very well.
It's all like
probably politics.
Yeah, politics and
I don't know.
All that stuff. I don't know. It's just weird. But yeah, you could tell Golden State Warriors, they have a bandwagon fan base, because the fact that Curry got it over Westbrook, that's a problem. Curry's not even a number one scoring option on his team anymore. That's obviously Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant has taken over that team, and
I still think at the end of the day that's Curry's team.
You still think it's Curry's team?
I still think it's Curry's team.
I mean, right now that we can pull
back,
up the stats.
Stats aren't gonna lie, but at the end of the day, I think it's still Curry's team. You could just tell by his contract and his comments due to his contract.
Yeah, what do you
the man deserves about $200 million. The best shooter in the game right now.
Yeah, but he's only going to ask for 48. That's what he said. Like 4 years, $48 million.
And he's taking a pay cut. That's a pay cut. so he can probably keep Klay Thompson and Durant on his team with Draymond Green.
Well, let's get back to the topic. We're both in agreement that Westbrook got snubbed.
Yeah.
And DeMarcus Cousins got snubbed.
Yeah.
For the people listening, feel free to comment about DeMarcus Cousins. We all know Westbrook got snubbed, but everyone has their own opinions about.
I mean, they could give us their comments and thoughts about that too. Westbrook getting snubbed, because I know there's plenty of people out there that agrees with Curry being the starter over Russell Westbrook.
I just think he doesn't deserve it because, I mean, Westbrook's just played a lot harder. He has 21 triple-doubles. Curry, what does he have, like one triple-double? Like, Curry has less pressure on him because he has KD, Draymond, and Klay Thompson.
I don't know.
Like, I don't know, but...
Did you see what Russell Westbrook said after the game after the loss to the Warriors?
Yeah, because Zaza Pachulia game, that was a dirty play.
No, I'm not talking about that.
You're not talking about that, about KD?
No, his KD comments.
I mean, I don't know it off the top of my head, but
I think Steven Adams was probably saying hi to Kevin Durant or something. Former teammates are going to show each other some love. But Westbrook just turns around and says, "Don't say hi to that BA."
Oh yeah, I saw the video. I mean, no, Steven Adams did not play that game, so it was probably Canner.
No, because Canner was behind him.
Yeah, but Steven Adams didn't play. I don't know. It was someone on his team.
I don't know, somebody.
I mean, Kevin Durant, we all know the story. Everyone repeats it. I hear it on SportsCenter every day. I'm not going to talk about it, but we all know Kevin Durant did Westbrook dirty. He calls him his little brother and then ends up leaving him. So that's just the story of them. If I was Westbrook, I'd be doing the exact same thing. It's not pettiness. It's personal, in my opinion. I think it's all personal.
Yeah, it's true.
But me and Dante went to the Toronto Raptors game last night. And that was probably the Wells Fargo Center was the most electric that game and the Timberwolves game. Like everyone everyone in the stadium, my fault, was screaming, yelling, carrying on, trust the process, everything. Like it's just crazy how the Sixers are now on a hot streak. And
the city has not been this excited about basketball since we had Allen Iverson.
Yes, that's a true statement. That's easy.
We haven't. You just gotta trust the process.
You just gotta trust the process.
You gotta trust the process. Joel Embiid is the most beloved man in the city as we speak. Then I think after Joel Embiid comes in Carson Wentz. But I was listening to the radio station on our way to the game, and they were talking about who's running the city now?
Who's
running the city, the Sixers or the Eagles?
Who do you think?
I think the Sixers.
I honestly think the Sixers are too. I got into like a debate with some people already.
Honestly, we've waited so long for them. This is a basketball city as well as a football city. But I just think that we waited so long for the Sixers to come along in this process, and now they are. The Eagles, year after year, just keep disappointing us. Even after Chip Kelly,
even before Chip Kelly, too, is disappointing. Like, we would get to the conference championship and not win the big game. Like, we were always so close, but we could never get
the
there.
whole city thought we had it when we had that dream team.
Yeah, well,
the whole city thought we had it.
Dominique Rodgers, yeah.
And we had McCoy. We had Vince Young. We had, who was it, Mike Vick, our quarterback.
Yeah, Mike Vick, yeah. We also...
Jackson and Macklin.
Yeah, we had three, nice corners.
Brent Selleck, and then the dream team comes and, what did we go, 8-8?
Yeah, that's
7,
what we
9,
are now.
8,
We're in the exact
like
same spot. And you notice how Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie now is dominating on the Giants. And every time I see him play, I just think, wow, he actually wore an Eagles uniform and was just awful with us. That just tells you that the coaching is poor in Philadelphia, at the time. I mean, right now we have a rookie coach. Well, now he's going to be in his second year, so it is a good year. We're going to see how our team improves. I still think our team, the Eagles, are a couple years away, and the only reason why I'm saying that is because they always disappoint every year. So I'm not going to get my hopes up.
I'm honestly more excited for the Sixers than the Eagles.
Yes, of course. I'm more excited for the Sixers because we're doing all this without Ben Simmons. When Joel Embiid's on the floor, we are the best defensive team in the NBA.
Literally. ranked
yeah,
number one when
yeah,
he's on the floor.
via ESPN. ESPN had a chart that showed with Embiid on the court, the Sixers are the number one defensive team. With Embiid off the court, the
Allowing
Sixers are the
99
20.
points a game.
Yeah, and the Sixers allow my fault. The Sixers defense is the 25th ranked defense with Embiid off of the court. So when Embiid's on the court, we are a legitimate team. And they also said this other thing on ESPN that if Embiid played every day, the Sixers are a 50-win team. When Embiid is not on the court and not playing, the Sixers are an 11-win team. That's how crazy.
Where did you get that from?
ESPN.
I want to go that far now.
No, that's what they said, like based off of projections and stuff
Right.
like that.
But I just want to go that far just yet.
I know, but that's just what because the only reason why
I think after we get Simmons, I mean, if
Yeah, we're
we
doing all
continue,
this
if we
without
continue to
Simmons,
play
so.
the way we have, and when we get Simmons back, and he can fit in with our scheme,
he's going to.
and everything works out well, then I don't see a problem with our team at all. And I think this year, the NBA draft for the following year coming up is just so stacked. Now, I don't think we'll get the number one pick. I don't think we'll get number two.
We'll probably get like a top 10, eight or 7.
No, I think that's going too low. I think we'll end up grabbing 3 and 6. The 3 is our pick, and the 6 is the Lakers' pick.
I mean, if we keep winning, I mean, the reason why our record's the way it is now is because it took.
But I don't mind the fact that we're winning as we speak.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I
at
want
all.
us to keep winning. I want us to actually fight for an 8 seed, make Philly more excited. Because if the Sixers find a way to get that 8 seed, that's going to be crazy. Like,
Aren't we like 6 games back or like 6 games?
yeah,
out
we're
of it?
6 games back. And the only reason why our record the way it is because in the beginning of the year, Embiid was only playing 24 minutes a game and was resting a lot more. Now he's playing 28, 29 minutes, and he's only resting on back-to-backs. And we're
now
gonna
imagine if we can get him up to that 40.
That's what I'm like. And he's
we're just gonna have to
Joel
wait till
Embiid's
next
almost
year.
averaging. He's like 0.2 points of away from averaging 20 points and 8 rebounds a game in just 20-something minutes a game. Like, and here's another stat. Like, he's the first player ever in the history of the NBA to score 20 or more points in less than 30 minutes per game. Like, it's crazy that how his numbers are elevating, and I feel like with Ben Simmons, he's going to have less pressure on him, and I think his points are going to go even more up. Because now you take all the pressure off of him. Now you got to worry about Ben Simmons, and then when we draft another guard that can shoot the ball.
I personally think with this draft coming up, we should go after Dennis Smith Jr. and the kid from
Kentucky, you gotta
Kentucky.
get him. Yeah.
Malik Monk.
Yes, because
2 shooters, 1 team.
He's a pure shooter, Malik Monk.
I had got asked this question last night. After the draft, well, after the season is over and after the upcoming draft, if we do get Dennis Smith Jr. and the kid from Kentucky, Malik Monk, what will your starting 5 be? And I gave a straight answer. What my starting 5 will be.
Simmons is going to be the point forward then. But right now, for this season, when he comes, because Simmons is going to probably come back in the All-Star break. Since we have like no real like guards right now, Simmons is going to play point guard for the rest of this season. But then next year when we draft like the Washington point guard or Lenzel Ball or any of those guys,
Lonzo
Ball, any of those guys that like we've mentioned in the past.
I think the kid from Washington is going to go number 1 to the Celtics.
Yes, I think he is too. But
And
but the Celtics are so guard heavy. That's the thing. They might if the Celtics were smart, they should trade him for someone else in the draft because he's a number 1 overall pick.
I don't think they'll do that.
I mean, because you have Marcus Smart, you have Isaiah Thomas, Avery Bradley, and you're gonna add him. Like it's gonna be exactly how the Sixers are with the big man. One of them has to go.
With you, Josh, I wouldn't mind. I would trade Nerlens Noel for Avery Bradley. I would do anything just to get Noel out of the city. I'm not a big fan of Noel.
I see. I'm the exact opposite. I'd rather get rid of Okafor and keep Noel because Brett Brown wants his team built off of defense. And defensive wise, once you take Embiid out, the defense stays intact. You're going to get hurt a little bit on offense, but once you get a guard that can shoot and you get Ben Simmons out there, they can play. They're going to play more minutes than Embiid right now, and they're going to put less pressure on Noel. And then when Embiid comes back, then our offense is back into gear. We got our starters back.
But I never seen Nerlens Noel as a really offensive threat coming into the league when we first drafted him. Second of all, after the game last night against the Raptors, I mean, the man, there was possessions, he was standing there like a pogo stick.
Everyone has a bad game, though, but you can also pull up his Minnesota game where he had 4 blocks, 2 steals, had 8 points, all dunks. Like, his offense is very limited, but right now it looks bad when he take Embiid out and put Noel in because there's no one else that can score. Because when Embiid's on the floor, he puts less pressure on the guards. But once Ben Simmons comes back, because Ben Simmons is going to play point guard in February all the way for the rest of the year, and then next year he's going to be point forward. But once I think
when he first comes back, now he's going to play point forward.
Point forward. I mean, right now though we don't have guards really. Like what, Nistauskas? Like T.J. McConnell can complement Simmons. But I don't see anyone else that can do that. And Brett Brown also said that he was going to play the point guard position. But I don't know. But
Buck situation.
Yeah, we're probably going to do either way, point forward, he's still running the point guard. He's still going to be our point guard.
Yeah, regardless.
So regardless. But
no, the question I got asked last night.
Yes. What was it?
Who would you start at your 4?
Like
I know, like for next year. Like, let's say, like, we draft our 2 guards, our 2 shooting guards, like, not shooting guards, but, like, our 2 guards who can shoot.
Yeah. Only one of them's going to start, though.
Yeah, which is, acceptable. But
and then T.J. McConnell, perfect 6-man, like, roll off the bench.
I don't think he'll be the 6-man.
Like,
this is where my answer came into play. I would keep Ilyasova. I would keep the same starters that we have now, same forward and center that we have now. I'll keep Embiid with Ilyasova. And coming off the bench, I'll have Dario Saric with Luau Cabarroa, however you say his name.
Yeah.
The French touch. With our point guard, whoever that'll be.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, though, we can end up starting both guards.
It depends on how good they are. Like, because, no rookie's just going to come in and snap. Like, it takes...
Yeah,
like,
it's going to take time for him to develop.
Like Embiid,
but I really think we could end up starting both guards.
In the future,
and maybe
probably.
even their rookie season.
I'm not
you
even
can
gonna
start
lie.
Dennis Smith with Malik Monk, and you can have him be Simmons at your 3.
Yeah, Simmons at the 3. And then
honestly, the whole floor be spread. Literally.
Yeah, and then I like Ilyasova a lot. I think that was a good deal. But I don't know how old he is on the top of my head. I feel like as of next year, I get what you're saying for 4. But then after like a couple years, move Saric to 4 because Saric will be developed by then. And you have Saric and B because Saric can shoot. His jumper just has to be more developed. So you have Saric.
He still has to learn American basketball.
I know, but he's starting to play really well. Like he's elevated his game a little bit. Like we saw last night those 2 big blocks, and then he hit that 3-pointer.
And to
so
answer
your question,
and to answer your question, Ilyasova is only 29 years old.
Only 29.
He's only 29.
Isn't he going to be a free agent next year? Look at his contract status. Because I know something's due. Like I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be a free agent next year. We don't know. So just double check on that. But I get what you're saying. I would like Ilyasova to be the 4 for just like a couple years, and then move Saric to starter because I believe that Saric does have starting potential.
Yeah, he is a free agent at the end of the year.
See, he's a free agent. Yeah, so I don't know if we're going to resign him.
We could probably get him back for cheap.
It all depends. I don't know. We just got to wait and see. But like right now, it's too early to tell. But I get what you're saying though. Both guards can probably start, but we're probably going to start one of the guards that's more developed and wait for the other one to develop and have T.J. McConnell because I really like McConnell.
I really like T.J. McConnell.
He plays with heart.
I mean, we have the whole. We have Joel Embiid and every other superstar potential player to be, but Nick Stauskas is just turning out to be my favorite player. I mean, not Nick
I was about to
Stauskas,
say Nick
T.J.
Stauskas. I'm like, come on
McConnell.
now, Nick
No,
Stauskas. He's
T.J.
so
McConnell has turning.
inconsistent.
T.J. McConnell's turning out to be my favorite player.
Now, what do you do with Covington?
You could use him as trade bait, or you could use him coming off the bench as a defensive presence. You can use him how
that's
the
what I'm
Warriors.
saying.
I mean,
just
we
don't
can
know.
use
It's too
him in
early.
that Andre Iguodala how the Warriors use him
Yeah.
coming off the bench. He can spread the floor for you because he's a 3-point shooter, and he also can give you defense, which Brett Brown said yesterday in his post game conference. Covington is turning out to be a lockdown defender.
All right, now moving on. This is going to be our last talk about basketball. Charles Barkley said on the radio that he's not going to announce the ballot yet. I mean, we already announced the ballot for starters. Embiid's not going to be a starter. But Charles Barkley, as well as Stephen A. Smith, said that they are going to give, or not, they didn't say gonna, but they said something similar to gonna. Like, they're going to give Joel Embiid the credit because of what he's done to change the city of Philadelphia. Because, man, these past 3 years have been awful.
To be honest with you, I have not seen another center change a basketball team around the way Joel Embiid has done.
Yes.
I'm not saying he's the best center in the league.
No.
At all.
But he's getting
He's
there.
getting there. He's getting there. He still has work to do. He still has to work on. They still have to give him more minutes, and there's still
And
work that has to be done. He still has to
yeah,
work on his game.
By the end of the year, he's going to play probably a full 30 minutes.
I honestly think the way, because our generation now isn't filled with a lot of big men. A lot of teams like to play small ball, and the Warriors are a prime example for that. Like did you watch the game last night?
Yes.
They had.
Well, the Thunder didn't have Steven Adams, so that's what it came down to.
No,
at the
but
end
I
of the
mean,
day.
but they just played so much small ball. They had Steph, Clay, Iguodala, Draymond, and Durant on the floor.
Yeah. I mean,
But the point that I'm trying to get to is that I haven't seen a big man change his team
he deserves to be an all-star.
the way that Joel Embiid has changed this team. Now, saying it again, I'm not saying he's the best center in the league, but I have yet to see another center like him change the way a basketball program in general changes it the way he has.
Because talent-wise...
I mean, the only way we can win is with him in the game.
Yes. And talent-wise, like, I think in a couple years, I think he'll be playing exactly how DeMarcus Cousins is playing right now. But the difference between him and DeMarcus Cousins is... Their attitude. Cousins doesn't really give a crap. Like, he doesn't elevate his team.
Now,
Embiid will elevate his team and his city.
I think DeMarcus Cousins cares. I just think Sacramento situation,
He needs to get out of there.
he has to. But he's just not filled with talent around him.
I mean, but neither is Embiid. If you really think about it.
I mean, yeah, but like the Cousins, I mean, they really run their whole offense through just one player, the whole game. Now, I mean, I'm not saying that our offense is run through Joel Embiid because pretty much it is. But the difference between us and the Kings, we're playing as a team.
And the Kings are not.
And they just lost Rudy Gay.
I mean, I don't really think he makes a difference or anything. They still lose. One thing I realized, whatever team Rudy Gay goes on, they lose. I don't know what. He's a good player. He's decent. But whatever team he goes on, they lose. Like, he was on the Raptors. They were not that good. And then he leaves to Toronto. Now Toronto's great. Like, I don't know. Whatever team
I mean, he
goes
did
on.
play well with the Grizzlies.
I mean, he does. He's a good player, but I don't know. It's just. I don't know. Maybe it's the coaching. I don't know. But DeMarcus Cousins.
I don't know. There just has to be a change in
Because
Sacramento.
DeMarcus Cousins, I don't see why DeMarcus Cousins doesn't do the same thing Embiid's doing.
I wouldn't mind seeing DeMarcus Cousins play for the Wizards.
That would be pretty scary, but
Him and John Wall with Bradley Beal, that's pretty. Ooh.
I mean, anything sounds good.
Got me
with the
scratching
Wizards
my
with
head
that
right now.
backcourt. All right, but so last question: do you think Embiid's going to be an All-Star? Like, if we find out he's not going to be an All-Star, how would you feel?
Upset. Literally, I think it just goes beyond basketball. The way he's playing right now, I think he goes beyond basketball. I think if you look at the turnaround the Sixers have had, I mean, you could just look at the record in the month of June. We're 6-2 in the 2 games we lost. But no,
Yeah,
I
six
know
and two.
when we lost. No, yeah, the record is fine. But I know we lost to the Wizards. We didn't have
That was
Embiid.
without Embiid.
The first game we lost. Oh yeah, to the Celtics we lost.
And that was a close game.
Yeah, which we should have won that game. I believe we should have won.
So even the games that we lose with Embiid on our court,
It's a close game.
It's a close game.
It's a close game.
And then we don't even have Simmons. Put Simmons in there because when Embiid's not on the floor, we can have Simmons with Noel. That's a nice lethal combination because Simmons can drive. And, I mean, TJ McConnell, he can drive, but the difference between 6 foot or like 6'1" and 6'10", 240 driving at you.
But when
big
McConnell has the
difference.
ball, though, he's not a scorer. He doesn't look to score.
And then Simmons,
He looks to get everybody involved, and he wants to dish the ball off, look to get everybody involved. He's the definition of a true team player. I don't know another player in the league right now that is playing unselfish basketball like him.
and he doesn't turn the ball over.
Yeah, he rarely turns the ball over. And, I mean,
he
T.J.
plays
McConnell's
good
turned out to be my
defense,
favorite player.
All right, but moving on from basketball, wait, one more thing. Are the Sixers Philly's new team?
I think so. Now, there's a
Over
lot
the
of people
Eagles,
over the Eagles.
because you know how it's been. This city has always been a football city.
It has, and I believe that was when it was the Andy Reid era.
And now we're in adjustment mode.
Because honestly, I mean, I don't know if you disagree with that point that statement I just made, that the Sixers are the new team of the city. Please tell me your thoughts. I need to know because we've been disappointed over and over and over and over and over.
Even when we were winning,
Okay.
we were still disappointed because we couldn't win we just couldn't win it.
And, we waited. I mean, you can make the same case for the Sixers. Disappointment over and over and over again.
But
When was the
they're
last
honest.
time? When was the last time we had a superstar player? Iguodala was never a superstar player.
No.
Our last superstar player was Allen Iverson,
And
we only had Allen Iverson.
And now we're about to have 2.
But yeah, exactly. But we only had Allen Iverson, which in my eyes is the best combo guard to ever play the game.
Yes.
To ever play the game.
I don't know about best ever, but
I believe best ever to play the game.
best pound for pound player.
No, I think he's the best combo guard to ever play the game. And if you want to argue with me if anybody out there wants to argue with me about that, please tell me.
Is it Michael Jordan a guard?
Combo guard, bro, point guard, shooting guard. Jordan was just a shooting guard.
I mean, best
Because
pound for pound.
remember, before Larry Brown came to coach the Sixers, he was the point guard. But remember, after Larry Brown came, who did he sign? I think it was Aaron McKee.
So you're saying combo.
I'm saying he was the best combo guard to ever play the game. Allen Iverson.
Well, I mean, some say he was never a combo. I mean, like he had a shooting guard mindset in a point guard position, sort of like how Russell Westbrook was considered. Like Russell Westbrook was the point guard, but he had a shooting guard mindset. That's just all. That's
But
just
can't
all.
you tell
what I'm
how the
trying to
game
tell
has
you.
evolved though?
Yeah, it has
Like
evolved.
point guards are like the best,
I know.
like the new scoring options.
But
Like if we look at the list of like scoring players, I mean like how can I say like NBA scoring, the
Yeah.
stats for NBA scoring.
Yeah,
There's
he's
gonna be a
top
lot
10.
of guards. There's gonna be a lot of guards on that list.
yes,
Before
it was big men.
It was a lot of big guys, but that's
All
the
right.
reason why I say because the man was, they say 6 foot, but remember they always give you 2 inches, so he was probably 5'10", 5'11".
You're right. All right, but
To do stuff like that, come on, we can debate about this. Anybody that wants to debate with me about this, please be my guest.
I mean, people call Allen Iverson the best pound for pound guy.
No, I think he's the best combo guard to ever play the game.
Okay, I'll let you say that. I mean, that's what I think about him. He's the best pound for pound guy, which means like he's short, small, but he plays well, like the biggest heart in the NBA. But moving on.
Oh wait, I'm not done my statement. I'm sorry. We haven't had another superstar since Allen Iverson.
Yes.
So really, after we traded him, we were going a long time without a superstar caliber player. And
then,
when we
we
had
tried
Allen
with
Iverson,
Bynum,
he was the only superstar on our team.
and we tried to get a superstar with Andrew
We
Bynum.
tried
but
getting Jason Richardson and Bynum. Bynum just got us for our money.
Yes.
Jason Richardson got hurt, retired. That's whatever. But even when after we traded Allen
Also,
Iverson,
Evan Turner, we tried it. We thought he was going to be a big thing.
he was a bust.
He was a bust.
I think we got gagged that year.
you had
Honestly, I feel
John
like
Wall
we
and
should
then
have
him.
John Wall. Honestly, I feel like John Wall should be a Sixer as we speak.
All right, but that's it with our Sixers talk and basketball in general. Now we're gonna move on to football, where last week we saw, I say, about 2 out of the 4 great games in football. The Steelers and Chiefs, 18-16. Steelers win on a 2-point conversion that is very highly questionable because there was a holding call during the play, but if you actually look at the replay, the holding call had nothing to do with the actual play, and I think that it kind of ruined how the game was, because like we've seen holding calls be called on.
Well, are you talking about the holding call that they called on Fisher?
Yeah,
I think that had a lot to do with the play. I think they gave Alex Smith about an extra 0.5 seconds, like 0.5 tenth of a second.
I mean though, like they're so inconsistent with calling that, and I just think in that situation where 2-point conversion, the game's tied, Alex Smith, like they had all the momentum, they finally tied the game, and then they get a holding call that puts them back 10, and Travis Kelce even flipped out about it. I mean, the call, it was a hold.
I mean, Travis Kelce's been flipping out on every referee this year.
I know, but like it was a hold. I'm not gonna lie, it was clear. It was a clear holding call. Mm-hmm. But we've seen a couple Cowboys plays where there's been a clear holding call, no called. There's been a couple plays with the Eagles against the Packers.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, we really can't go around like.
I
see you trying to use,
the refs are inconsistent
examples to back up your statement, but I think you can't really bring like what Cowboys game are you talking about when they played the Packers?
No, I'm just saying. When they played the Lions.
Ooh, I didn't watch that game.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
No.
Well, yeah, they did a stretch play where the end was clearly grabbed and Elliott just cut back and it was just gone.
I didn't see it.
And then like the Eagles game where they missed a holding call when Rodgers hooked up with Nelson for that touchdown. Not Nelson. I'm trying to think.
You talking about the Devontae Adams catch?
Now, I remember that third down play where they got the first, and there was a clear hold. It was all over Twitter. It was on Vinny Curry. Like, the guy was clearly holding him.
Oh, okay.
But my argument is they're so inconsistent with calling it,
mm-hmm.
and in that situation, it's a tie game. Like
that's something Roger Goodell has to clear up. He's the commissioner of the league, and he's just horrible.
Yeah, like he has not even had a penalty with Brown yet. What's like Brown should be, like if he was a legit commissioner, Brown might be suspended for at least the game or something in the game for violating it because he violated a rule and it's a
Wait,
clear
but who's
rule.
Brown?
Antonio Brown.
Oh, Antonio Brown.
My fault for the Steelers. Like the rule says in the NFL that you cannot post anything on social media, like go on live and stuff like that inside the facility after a game. Now, once you leave the press and you leave the stadium, then you can go on social media. He broke that rule. He clearly broke it. I mean, he said he had no idea, which I think he had no idea, but the rule was clear as day. And the Steelers also have a policy too. But since it's a playoff game, Goodell's not going to step in yet. Now, after the season, watch, he's probably going to step in. Goodell is so inconsistent. He is the reason why I think the NFL is losing views.
Brown, I'll wait. I mean, if I was Antonio Brown, I'll be happy to wait after the season.
I know. I'm just saying it as an unbiased sports fan,
mm-hmm.
outsider looking in. Roger Goodell is so inconsistent. The NFL is losing views because of it. Like the hit on Darren Sproles, no fine for the guy. The hit on Matthews, a guy appealed his suspension, Neal. And instead of it being $25,000, he got it for only $8,000 on the hit on Matthews that we saw blood and everything on his lip and stuff like that. Like they're trying, and then he also says that they want to get rid of that in the game. They want to get rid of the physicality and stuff like that. Stuff like that proves that Roger Goodell is just so inconsistent. Like, he penalizes the Patriots for deflating balls, but then there's people doing other stuff too. Like, and he penalizes them a year after they did it. That's the funny thing. Like, Brady got suspended this year, not last year, this year.
I mean, it's just the way.
I know it's so inconsistent.
It's just how Roger Goodell wants to go about his business, I guess.
All right, but anyway, what do you think? Like, out of all 4 games, which team do you think really like asserted themselves last week? Like, showed that
The Falcons.
that like they can actually like go all the way and win it. The Falcons.
The Falcons.
Why do you say
I
that?
feel like they really showed a lot. Because, I mean, when we see the Falcons in the playoffs, we're used to, first round goodbye. I mean, not necessarily first round, but like first game goodbye.
Yes.
I mean, I don't. What is this? Matt Ryan's first win in the playoffs?
Nah, it's his second.
His second win in the
Both
playoffs.
wins are against Seattle. They beat Seattle in 2012.
Both wins are in the playoffs.
Yep.
And after that game against the Seahawks, I mean, offense and defense really killed it. Both sides of the ball really did their part. So to me, after watching that game, the Falcons really showed a true statement. They're here and they're ready to play. They're ready to take on any challengers. Although I do not have them being my Super Bowl pick, I feel like they will give the Packers a tough time. But, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is too high, so I'm going to roll with Rodgers. But I just feel like the Falcons last week really, really, really made an exclamation point. Like, we could probably say, like, Atlanta Falcons with an exclamation point at the end of that.
With an exclamation point.
With an exclamation point.
They are birds too, man. They're swooping, man.
Swoop!
But I agree with everything what you said, but your pick, I think Atlanta is going to make another statement and beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. It's going to be a close game. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a shootout. And I think whoever gets the ball at the end is going to win. I think Atlanta's going to get the ball at the end. And we saw what happened with Dallas. At first, Green Bay's defense had them, but then, as you could tell, you need depth in the playoffs. And their secondary's banged up. You could tell in that late third, fourth quarter, their secondary couldn't stop. They couldn't stop Dak Prescott and Elliott anymore. Mm-hmm. And Atlanta, you don't just have Freeman, you have Coleman too.
Yeah.
You have not one but 2 Pro Bowl backs, in my opinion. They should both be going to the Pro Bowl. And Elliott is a great back, but I think having those 2 guys not just run the ball effectively, they can also
1-2 punch.
They can also catch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Freeman led the whole team in receiving yards last game against the Seahawks because he had that one catch where he broke free.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that they really showed that they're in this. Like they're probably going to beat they beat the Seahawks. And Aaron, it's crazy how one player, like in football, they always say it's a team sport, but right now it's just one man making his whole team better. Like Aaron Rodgers has made his whole team better. But I think Aaron Rodgers has already proved to the league and stuff like that he's legit. He's like talent-wise probably the best quarterback, the way how he rolls out. Brady will always be like the best like in the clutch and stuff like that, but at like overall talent, like running outside the pocket, being mobile and throwing off the run, Aaron Rodgers is the best.
Mm-hmm.
But when we get back to my point, I think Atlanta, their defense, they do give up big plays because we saw Seattle almost come back. They throw like back-to-back deep bombs, and you knew it was coming. But if they find a way to just limit them, and Beasley finds a way to get free on a couple plays and sack Rodgers in the beginning of the game, because for the Packers to have a shot, they're gonna have to get it. They have to go on another fast start like they did against Dallas, because as we see, their defense in the beginning plays well, but at the end they get too tired.
I'm not trying to interrupt you, but I don't think that they necessarily have to get on a fast start like they did against Dallas, because we can see against the Giants defense is way better than Dallas's defense.
Yeah, but
they got to a slow start.
But the Giants' offense, like,
no, you're right. But
like, no offense to you, New York.
At the end of the day, though, Rodgers did come out and kill the Giants in that end of the first half, second half.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily agree with the fact that they have to start fast. I just think that I honestly think in order for Atlanta to win this game, they have to get the key stops. The key
Yes.
drives, they have to get the key stops. Because if not, Rodgers is going to score on you all day.
And their secondary is already like they have not played with Trufant all like for the most part of the season. And the Eagles are lucky when we played them. Trufant got hurt the week before, because he would have been on Jordan Matthews, and then that would have been our offense right there. We wouldn't have done nothing. But so you say Packers? What? Give me a score. Like, what do you think?
Score?
Oh, yeah, before you say that, I'm gonna give my family a shout out. My grandma called the Dallas Packers game. She said 34-31 Packers.
Shout out to my mom.
Yeah, my mom. But yeah, go back to what's your score prediction?
I think that Green Bay beats Atlanta 27-21.
27-21.
27-21.
I think both teams will score in the 30s this game. I think Atlanta will get the ball last, and I think they're gonna win. I'm gonna give them at least 32 points. I'm gonna say 33 or 34. I'll go 34, even number. I'll go 34 to 28. Nah, 34 to 30. It's gonna be an awkward score. 34 to 30, because Atlanta's gonna need a touchdown at the end, not a field goal. 34 to 30, Atlanta.
I mean, they can tie the game with a field goal then.
Nah, they're gonna score though.
Oh, they want to go for the win?
They're gonna go for the win.
They want to go for the win?
They're gonna go for the win, not kick a field goal, because you don't want to give Rodgers more possessions.
Yeah.
But
I'm ready to talk about this Patriots game.
All right, let's move on.
Houston had the Patriots.
They did, but
Houston had the Patriots.
it's their quarterback. He threw 3 picks.
But if you necessarily think about it, though, you can include the picks. They still had their chances.
This whole season for the Patriots, I mean, I know like they're so good, but they have not played. They've played 2 quarterbacks with a QBR in the top 10. Tyrod Taylor and Russell Wilson. Both losses. Well, they beat Tyrod Taylor once. They lost to Tyrod Taylor once. Mm-hmm. They're 1-2 against quarterbacks with top 10 QBR. And this whole season, they have not played against any elite quarterbacks. They played Brock Osweiler twice. They played. Tyrod Taylor was considered elite this year. They played. I'm trying to think what else they played. They played Miami. Ryan Tannehill, mediocre. Matt Moore, backup. Like, we can go on with their schedule. The Cleveland Browns, no one. Those are the teams that just popped. The Rams, Jared Goff. Come on, bottom 3rd in the league in QBR because he's a rookie. Like, they have not played against any elite quarterbacks yet. And I think I'm going to predict the Steelers.
I have the Steelers beating the Patriots.
I have the Steelers beating the Patriots because Ben Roethlisberger, they have not, the Patriots, because in week 7 when New England played the Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger was not on the field. Their backup quarterback was playing. Mm-hmm. If Le'Veon Bell can run effectively and have over 100 yards like he did the last 2 games, I think they're going to run. They're going to beat New England. It's going to be a close game because it's the Patriots. They'll make it close, but I think the Steelers will win.
I don't think the Patriots have the defense to hold up to keep up with the Steelers' offense, and let me tell you why. They messed up by trading away Jamie Collins. Now they cannot stop the run.
Like, who's their superstar on their defense?
And who's going to stop Le'Veon Bell? That's my first question. Who do you have that's going to stop Le'Veon Bell? 2, you don't have a lockdown defender. The Patriots, who's their lockdown defender? Malcolm Butler?
I mean, he's
the reason why his name is so big is because he had the Super Bowl interception.
Malcolm Butler is a good corner, but he's not
a shutdown corner.
He's not a shutdown
and
corner.
Nobody's going to shut down Antonio Brown.
He's not a shutdown corner, and I agree with that. That's the problem.
And the reason why
with the
Patriots get so lucky, Devin McCourty saves them.
And Patrick Chung.
I think Devin McCourty would never get the credit he deserves. Devin McCourty is a top 6, top 5 safety in this league.
He's not.
Maybe he doesn't have the numbers for it.
Yeah, he does not have the numbers at all.
But if you just watch him play, literally, somebody just sit there and watch the Patriots play, scout Devin McCourty. Devin McCourty saves their whole secondary. And like you said,
yeah.
Patrick Chung. Patrick Chung is a good safety.
Except with the Eagles.
He's a good. Oh my gosh.
Everyone that comes to the Eagles, they just start stinking it up. But,
I don't know what it is, but I don't know who's gonna stop Le'Veon Bell, and I don't know who's gonna stop Antonio Brown.
But one thing,
And Ben Roethlisberger is healthy.
But one thing Bill Belichick does do very well, he takes away the strength of your offense. Ben Roethlisberger likes to throw the ball vertical. If he could find a way, because for the Steelers to win, Ben Roethlisberger cannot throw an interception in this game. And he's the reason why this game has been so close lately for the Steelers. Like, he's turned the ball over a lot recently.
Mm-hmm.
And no one's talking about it because he's a home run quarterback. If he finds a way to be patient and take his shots, don't take a shot every play, but know when to take your shots effectively down the field and limit his interceptions and be patient and rely on the run game, because the run game is the reason why they're in the championship. Le'Veon Bell doesn't run for 150 yards. They don't beat the Chiefs. Because the Chiefs' defense, they held them to all these field goals. And then the Chiefs scored on the end of the game. So let your run game come. Be patient. Let the offensive flow come to you. And then you can take a shot down the field like you want to do. But if he's gonna keep throwing the ball long, he's gonna get picked off, because Bill Belichick does the exact same thing to the Cardinals. He took away the vertical threat. Like the Cardinals, they have Larry Fitzgerald. Mm-hmm. He took away the vertical threat, and that's why they won the game, because Carson Palmer was not patient enough. Mm-hmm. And if Ben Roethlisberger is patient, the Steelers will win this game easily, because Butler cannot stop Antonio Brown one-on-one. Butler's going to need some help. So they're probably going to have over-the-top help on him. So Brown's probably going to have a couple short routes wide open in the middle of the field. Ben Roethlisberger just have to learn how to just throw it short, rely on the run game, and then take the ball deep as the game goes along. That's just my opinion on the game. But I believe the Steelers will win.
I think the Steelers win this game for the simple fact they established their run game before anything. Le'Veon Bell has been unstoppable this postseason.
I'm saying if like I'm saying comes true, I think they'll win either 26-20 or 27-21 Steelers over the Patriots. Because I think it's the Steelers are going to kick a couple field goals.
Yeah,
but
I like the Steelers. I like the Super Bowl rematch. I think it was Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
48,
something
like that.
So you think Packers Steelers?
Packers Steelers.
I think it's going to be Atlanta
and the Steelers get their revenge this time. And
the Steelers get the revenge. Do you think Steelers going all the way? I have Atlanta and Steelers, and then I have Atlanta because I think this is Matty Ice. Matty Ice needs to make a statement because everyone comes at him in the playoffs. So I think he'll get this. I think he'll get this ring. Their offense is so good, and their defense is just good enough to complement their offense. But yeah, that's me and Dante's playoff predictions. We'll get you a score next week for the Super Bowl, or in 2 weeks. Dante, you have anything else you want to talk about?
Just a second, Josh.
Okay. But, yeah, feel free to comment if you have any other opinions. I know you Patriots fans, especially one of my friends. He's going to be like, what are you doing, Patriots? But anything before we wrap it up?
Trying to look. I'm trying to think. Ooh. Did we talk about the Packers and Dallas game?
I mean, we all saw
how clutch Rodgers is.
I mean, we all knew that was going to happen. Dallas, their defense has not been good. Their defense has been good this year, but we knew when they play against an Aaron Rodgers, a Tom Brady, all these elite quarterbacks, you knew their defense was not going to be that good.
He beat Rodgers early in the season. Yeah,
that's because Rodgers had an awful game, and that wasn't the Packers then. The Packers are a far different team than what they were. That's why I think regular season matchups don't matter, because teams grow as the season progresses.
And that's exactly what the Packers did.
Yep. Winners of 8 straight.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, is that it? It for the Swoop? Radio edition.
Yeah, I think that's it for the Swoop radio station.
Come on, bro. You gotta get it like me, bro.
I can't do it right now, man.
Your voice has to get a little,
I
Swoop!
know. Right now, I lost my voice from the Sixers game from last night.
Yeah,
That's
it was
why
a
I
good,
can't do it.
Shout out to Dario with those two
I know.
big blocks.
Dario, sorry, that should be Sports Center top play.
I know it has to be. Did it make it?
But yeah, feel free to comment and subscribe to me and Dante's YouTube channel. I hope you guys have a great night, great rest of the day.
Are you gonna really fly by my question?
What?
Did it make top 10?
I don't know. I think it. I don't know. I got to double check.
I don't think it did. I'm not sure.
But yeah, this is Josh and Dante signing off.
Swoop!
Swoop!
All right, you guys have a good one.
Have a good one.